Okay, so things I have done since my last recording. I added this and I added this cable to the PMU so that it would be able to send its information to the flight controller. And while I have this still loose, I want you to be able to see that where it says power 1, which is this one down here, is where you're going to be plugging that in. So we'll just plug that in just like that. Okay, so the other thing we're going to do, I added these two zip ties because that's where I plan to put my receiver wires. If you look right here, it says RCN, okay, and then if you remember looking on the side, that shows how you plug it in. Your signal wire is at the bottom, the power wire is in the middle, if there is a power wire, and then the negative or the black wire is at the top. So we know that for RCN we plug it in just like that, because the white is the signal wire, the red is the power, and the black is the ground. And then, like I said, I'm just going to use some double-sided sticky tape that I have right there already. Let me get my some tweezers. You should have some in your toolkit. And what you can do is you can get some heat shrink and slide it onto the zip ties like that, and then you don't have to worry about the propellers chopping it up. So, and then as always, you always want to be working on cable management. So if I can, I'm going to just put that down there out of the way. Again, I will be using double-sided sticky tape to secure him, so yours won't be sliding around like that. You'll definitely want to use some double-sided sticky tape. Let me get the heat shrink. And that way, and we can add a zip tie around this as well, but we'll heat that up, and that will keep your receiver wires in a rigid enough setting okay. So like I said, that's just there to keep them out and away from props, away from carbon, ready to receive any inputs that you send. Alright, so we've added that, we've added this. We need to add our GPS. It says right here, GPS module. So that's pretty easy. You just look at it and plug it in, right? Let me make sure I'm doing it right. There you go, just like that. Okay, then you're gonna need the arrow to point in the same direction as these two. So wherever it makes sense to mount your puck is where you want to mount your puck. You could do it up front, or you could do it in the back. Just if you do it in the back, you got to remember your length and how much room you have, how much length you have for how tall the GPS mast is. So I'm going to work on getting this guy set. So I've got my GPS mast in place, I've got my receiver in place, I've got my PMU in place, GPS puck. I'll wind up putting up here. The last thing you're going to be adding, well, I say last thing, potentially. This is going to be your telemetry, which is going into telemetry 1, which is kind of hard to show you that but it's not that one, but the next one, telemetry 1, which is down there. And so he is going to go, where'd it go? Like that. So, and then I'll probably wind up putting him like right here, because that can just sit up like that. That can go there. These can get crammed through here and then down into here to stay out of the way. Or if you really wanted to, you could send it up under and back up. So actually I'm going to do that, because like I said, you're always wanting to try to have as much protection as possible for when you assemble these. So I'm going to just put it back in just like that. That will go there with the zip tie. This will get some double-sided sticky tape and it will go there. This will go on there. Okay, found this one. You're going to be using, now depending on which one of the masts you got, this one comes with the Pixhawk flight controller system. So this will go on there like that. You'll wind up using some super glue. You should have gotten super glue. And you're going to put that there, and that should do it. That will give you your receiver, that will give you your power coming into here, GPS, telemetry, RCN, motors. If you're doing any kind of servos or auxiliaries, that would be in here. That really basically covers it as far as components. And I know, as I mentioned, you know, you can mount these in some various locations, but the components and their uses do not change. You have to have the PMU, you have to have your flight controller, you have to have your GPS, you have to have your receiver. You actually do not have to have the telemetry, but when we are including it with all of our systems. And then just to recap, these are the motor sensor signal wires going to the 4-in-1 ESC. If you are adding a VTX and camera, this JST can be used for that. And that really does about tidy it up. This, like I said, would go up here. This would wind up going there, like that. This keeps hitting that standoff because that's going to go there like that. So, and then your battery straps would go through there. And that would pretty much get you ready for flight. You would should have checked your rotation already. So then you would be adding your props. When you add props, let's see if I have one. Okay, this is a 10-inch prop, which is what you will get. It is slightly different. It has a 4.5 pitch, where we are sending you guys a 3.8 pitch. But what I want to show you about these is the pitch is where it's cutting into the air. This is grabbing and scooping the air and pushing it down. So you need to pay attention to that when you go to put your props on, so that you don't have any, so that it doesn't flip over. Because if you have your motor and the motor is rotating in a counterclockwise direction, and then you put this, well, if it was going counterclockwise, that's the way it should be going, because that's the way it's scooping the air. But if it was going clockwise and you put this on here, it would do nothing at all, because it would be hitting the air this way and forcing it upwards. So you need to make sure that when you go to add your props, after you have confirmed rotation and after you have done all of your configurations, when you go to add your props, you're putting them on properly. And with that, I'm going to conclude our Pixhawk build video. If you have questions, comments, concerns, please comment below, and subscribe to our channel for changes, updates, modifications, or any of that. And thank you for watching.